It's the first thing I saw. Welcome to the Psychic News Network. Cheryl will like this. You see it? Life is better in Maine. Do you see? Cheryl lives in Maine. It's Wednesday, it's hump day. And we are here to go over the news from a psychic perspective, as usual. I hope you're doing great. I hope you had an awesome day. I had an awesome day. And we have a new mascot, a temporary new mascot. This is, oh gosh, what should we call him? Sally the Seagull. Thomas just named the seagull Sally. So there we go. Sally the Seagull. Coming to you from Maine today to go over the news. So let me know how you're doing, how your day was, how the weather is where you are. It's really a stellar day here, as you can tell. Just, sun's probably going to go down in a little bit, probably 45 minutes. And we need to talk about what's happening on the news front. Yesterday we had, well, I did a brief video. And I got photobombed by the lawnmower guy. I was pretty annoyed, but when I watched it later, I had a pretty good laugh. Day was great today. Got some flowers out. All right. And I did check in with you yesterday about the verdict on the Agent Carroll case, which I pretty much thought would be decided by 4 o'clock, and it was decided around 3:30, I think. Susan's here from Connecticut. The New Englanders are out tonight. So, taking a look at the Agent Carroll case, I did say that I didn't see Trump paying right away. And I think, watch the sky at 10 tonight. The Maine will be seeing the northern lights. Wow, well, I'm glad I'm here for that. Wow. Thanks for letting me know. I think, remember I said we didn't know how much the settlement would be, but it was $5 million. But as we were saying, it wasn't about the money with E. Jean Carroll. It was about him being, held accountable and her clearing her name. So, and I saw her on MSNBC this morning, E. Jean Carroll, and she looked really good and relieved and was really strong. So just know, hey Barbara, just know that this E. Jean Carroll case was really about not taking it anymore. Like, we have had it up to here and we're not going to take it anymore, kind of. I'm going to pull 3 cards about the aftermath of that. So sure enough, yes, great day for women in justice. It really was. So it's not about how much money. It's not really about that. It's about men being held accountable for sexually assaulting women, for violent assaults on women, because they think that they're stronger, and they're actually men think that they're stronger, and they actually display how weak they really are when they do stuff like that. And we're going to pull 3 cards. Actually, I don't want to use a Rider-Waite. I want to use these. We're going to pull 3 cards about the aftermath of that. And just so you know, tonight's video is not going to be 90 minutes, more like 75 minutes, because I have dinner plans, and I don't want to keep people waiting, so. When they're making dinner, you don't want to keep them waiting. Let me pick 3 cards about the aftermath for Donald Trump. Yeah, I definitely saw that he would try to get out of pain. I definitely mentioned the delay. I knew it wouldn't be like, okay, I'll pay it, which I really think it would be better if he was just, all right, here, let's get on with it. But you know him, he has to be the center of attention and make a big mess out of everything. That's just how he rolls. As you can see, I kind of got a sunburn today. Let's see. 4 cards about the aftermath of this. I actually got this card yesterday about Trump. He's heading into challenging times. Donald Trump is heading into pretty challenging times. Betty says, we cool. We cool. So in the aftermath, there are two cards here that actually, these two cards do indicate lots of challenges ahead for Trump. Lots of challenges. These do not look like easy peasy cards. These are the Five of Wands and the Seven of Wands. He's going to go through a very, I just think about it, I see Trump going through a very, you know, when you're really busy, when you just really have too much going on, like a deadline, or final exams, or where you just really have to handle so much all at once, times that by 100. And this is what Trump is getting ready for the next, gosh, many months, is constant struggle, constant having to play whack-a-mole with all the legal problems he's having, constant having to figure out where the money's going to come from. We're going to ask a question too about Joe Tacopina. I'm not sure that Joe Tacopina is going to continue to represent him. Oh, thank you, Shirley. See, Maine looks good on me. I'm seeing if Tacopina is going to still be Trump's lawyer. Is Tacopina going to keep his job? No, I don't think Tacopina is going to continue to be Trump's lawyer. Yeah, so when I read the cards about what's coming up for him, I mean, this is a lot. Hang on. I'm dropping cards already. This is a lot. This is like, oh my gosh, I'm in over my head and I'm not really sure how to get out of being over my head. Trump feels that way. And it's like he's trying to kind of keep his head above water, but it's getting really tough for him. And speaking of water, then I have this card, the Page of Cups. Yeah, the flood is starting. The flood of lawsuits, the flood of legal challenges is definitely happening. By the way, we did get a new router here, and I guess I just break Wi-Fi's and new password and everything. So the Wi-Fi should be quite strong. I'm hoping that we don't get disconnected. I don't think we will. Two more cards about Trump. This is just about what's going on with his energy right now. The Magician is Trump trying to push kick the can down the road. That's what that's about. Trying to finagle things so that he looks. See the infinity card, the infinity sign above the Magician's head? It's like this is just a continual thing where he just delays and contests and appeals and fights back, and it's he's continually trying to move the goalposts, and that game is going to continue with him, leading to. Actually, what I'm getting is leading to. I guess if you look at the blessing in disguise, or the benefit that's in disguise, it's leading to the whole justice system sharpening and upping its game. So I guess you could say that's a positive with what Trump has put the whole justice system through. Is it's causing them to be actually quite effective, quite very, very deliberate, very on task, very meticulous, very sharp. So what Trump has been doing, and like I mentioned the other day, the judges and the prosecutors and the legal system, they're on to him. They have his playbook. They know how he operates and how he deceives, or attempts to deceive and get away with things. And they know how he operates, and they're getting very, very together on that. Very together. So it's going to be competence like we've never seen in terms of the justice system in the United States. So there is a silver lining. Remember, when you have a raw stone, you only can make that raw stone like a beautiful, faceted, shiny, expensive gemstone when it's tumbled. And so this is actually making the DOJ and the whole justice system in the United States better at what they do. So that's the positive side for the United States. There's a lot going on there. I do feel like it's getting to the point of Trump is losing his lead. You know, it's like a horse race. Sometimes it feels like a horse race, like he's losing his lead. And once you start losing your lead, it gets precarious, because once you start losing your lead, you really have to put a lot of, I know this from running road races, you have to, like, if you lose your lead, it takes a lot of extra energy to get that back. It just, you need a big giant burst of energy. And I don't think he has it. I don't think Trump has it. I think he's getting worn down. I think he's running out of steam. The Queen of Cups is here. This is Fani Willis and Letitia James. And actually what I'm seeing here too is there are more women that, now that women have been empowered by the E. Jean Carroll case and seeing that she emerged victorious, more will be coming out. I do see that. Let's ask the pendulum. Because remember, there's 26 women who are claiming that he sexually assaulted them. And if there are 26 women making that claim, they're not lying. Why would you lie about something like that? That would be, you don't want to, doesn't even make sense that somebody would lie about that and open themselves up to all that scrutiny. So are more women going to come forth? And yeah, I feel like there's going to be more court cases involving Donald Trump sexually assaulting women. It's a really strong yes. Yay! Hi, Moonchild. Hi, everybody. 25 more to go. Exactly. I didn't really know. I didn't really look at it, whether those other women were going to hold him accountable, but it looks like yes. So let's find out a little bit more about that. Like, who would it be? There was a reporter for, maybe, was it People magazine, that he sexually assaulted and others. And it's really amazing that anybody in this country, especially women, would say that that's okay. And that they would vote for him. And don't even get me started about some of the fascists and the party of fascists and the heinous things that they said after he was found, I guess, you'd say guilty. They're kind of tiptoeing around the terms in terms of like what was the verdict? Was it he's guilty of they're calling it sexual abuse. So what, sexual assault is what it is. Are we wearing him down? Yes, we're wearing him down. It's us. Our 20 on Tuesdays guided meditation for a healed America. Yes, we're wearing him down. Absolutely. I don't have my bell with me, or I would have rang it on that one. Okay, remember, we're too blessed to be stressed. Okay? Too blessed to be stressed. We're just plugging away. We're moving forward. 25 more that we know about. Oh, yeah. The list is way longer than that. Way longer, because more women than not would not want to come forward, right? Because it would really just kind of ruin your life. It would be all consuming. You love seeing the GOP starting to peel away from him. I didn't see a lot of that in the news today. They're claiming he's not a rapist, so that's good. I don't understand what you're saying, Jill. He is a rapist. Maybe that's what you're saying the GOP is saying? Too much trauma for those ladies. I mean, it really takes... I mean, when you really look at it, it takes somebody with a consciousness of being a public servant to do what E. Jean Carroll did. That's what it takes, because she, just like the Me Too movement, it was a matter of like compassion and doing something that's going to help the greater good, doing something that's going to help other women. So it's a big deal, and not everybody wants to change their entire lives. Think about how many people, won't run for office for something because their whole lives would change and be disrupted. And with all the death threats and everything that are going on, it would be a sacrifice, right? And so, just speaking of all the women that Trump has assaulted, and that Access Hollywood tape when he was just talking about assaulting women, I mean, who was he referring to then? And then there's this recordings of him at the Miss Universe pageant where, you know, he was the one that was in charge. I think it was Miss Universe. And he's like, oh, I could just walk in and see anything whenever I wanted because I owned it. It's like, there's a lot more. There are a lot more. And the pendulum says that other women will be coming forward after this and at least telling their stories. They might not go to trial. They might not go to court and testify, but it's amazing that he didn't even show up at court. I mean, 5 men and 3 women were on the jury. There's nothing about that says that he was innocent and that they were lying. Nothing about it at all. Kathy, thank you. Let's, gosh, and then lo and behold, I feel like we already talked about this, but the reason I feel like we already talked about this is because last night at 20 on Tuesdays, we do talk a little bit before we get into the meditation about the current events. So right after I said, you know, prior to 4 p.m., we'd find out the decision of the jury on Donald Trump's sexual assault case. That happened, and then shortly afterwards, lo and behold, I told you all this, George Santos was not going to get away scot-free at all by any stretch of the imagination. I do see him in jail. Yeah, Trump was scared to show up. Is somebody who's innocent scared to show up? No. Can you imagine? Yes, the amount of Miss Universe pageant participants that could say something, that probably have some dirt on Trump. And not to mention Jeffrey Epstein, who's no longer with us, but there's a lot going on there too that got covered up. It was exposed, but it got covered up. Okay. So, I mean, to me, I don't really get caught up in the details of was it rape or was it not rape? It was a sexual assault. I switched topics, sorry. You know? So anyway, I told you George Santos would be in trouble. He wasn't going to get away with all this lying. Maybe it doesn't take a psychic, but he wasn't going to get away with all this lying. There's no way. I had mentioned, I'm just sort of recapping what I'd said in the past about, we call him Pinocchio. I'm recapping what I said in the past about Pinocchio. And I don't think he's out of the woods with Brazil. I don't think George Santos is out of the woods with Brazil. I really don't. Wonder who posted his bail. Oh, that's a good question to ask, Thomas. How much was the bail? I caught it, but I forgot what it was. Hello, Janet. Is George Santos going to prison? Is this going to land him in prison? I'm getting yes. It will land him in prison. I do get a sense that it's going to be a long time. Very strong yes on George Santos going to prison. I do sense that it's going to be a long time of court. And that he ever came out. We'll take a look at where his money came from. Early on, I said he was a spy. The cards are saying he was a spy. Is he? Okay. Yeah, he's definitely going to prison. I feel overseas. I do sense Jack Smith, and I feel overseas connections with money. And I had said that before, too. This is about Mr. Pinocchio George Santos. We'll pick 3 cards about what's happening with this case with George Santos. So he comes out and he's like, it's a witch hunt. It's a witch hunt. I'm sorry. I'm part witch. I'm a little bit upset with this witch hunt talk. It's offensive that they say that. And you know, when we talk about Donald Trump, for instance, let's count up. It might take you a while. Let's count up just speaking of Donald Trump, how many witch hunts have there been, according to Donald Trump? I mean, it's just like, do they think we're stupid? Do they think we're stupid that Pinocchio can get out there and go, well, it's a witch hunt, and then we're gonna believe him? I mean, come on. You'd love a tour of the garden. There's no garden. That's actually not. It's just brush. Let's see. 3 cards on George Santos, aka Pinocchio. They equate being rich to being smart. Well, you know, it's time for the smart people to stand up and to run for something. It really and truly is. I consider, you know, in lieu of running for something, I have grassroots of democracy. Pinocchio is nothing compared to Santos. I know it's true. And like Donald Trump and George Santos, what they have in common is that they cannot stop lying. It's compulsive. It's constant. They don't know how to say something that's truthful. It's compulsive. They're addicted to lying. I think that Trump lies when he doesn't have to lie all the time. And George Santos obviously lies when there's no need to lie. What do you think of that, Sally Siegel? Let's see. What do you think? How long do you think George Santos is going to prison for? She's giving me the number 5. 5 years? I think it's 5 years. That's what I can read anything, right? Let's see. 3 cards. I mean, this guy, I've really never seen anybody like this guy that calls himself George Santos in my life, and Trump included. They're all about the lies. I really can't think of a character quite like this person who calls himself George Santos. I do sense multiple personalities. I do sense something like multiple personality disorder. I'm not full on, but I sense something that's like that. This is a person, it's actually very sad, and we'd feel sad for him if he wasn't so obnoxious and in your face. Because he's got some real problems to just like steal money that doesn't belong to him and to go. He's a total criminal, total thief. This is what George Santos is looking at. An abundance of evidence against him. The video is iffy. No, don't tell me that. I'm going to go with it because we did fix it. I mean, new router and everything. And people the other night were saying that it was fine, so it just depends. Pathological liar. Yes, he needs help, but instead of getting help, he's just continuing to lie and to commit crimes. You see, fine. Okay, good. This is the abundance of evidence against Santos. I mean, he's right on video, just lying. Thank you, Amy. It's fine. Lying when they have video of him lying and then saying he didn't say that. It's bizarre. It is totally, the Midas brothers grew up in his district. That's right. It's totally bizarre. You tried running for city council and it cost $3 million. Get a donor. I mean, think about it. It's not like paying restitution. Do I see Pinocchio paying restitution? Hang on. Do I see Pinocchio paying back I don't know where he would get the money. No, he's not going to pay it back. He doesn't have the money. George Santos was a poor man, which is why it was so suspicious that all this money showed up, and I got that there was an international connection. Jimmy Buffett's song, Fruitcakes. I don't think I know that song. He probably thinks America's weak sauce and that he's smarter than everyone. I don't know. It's terrible. It's bad. He is connected. The lover card indicates that he's connected to a big money person. This is about Pinocchio. And this whole George Santos thing is going to show very clearly. It's going to further define the party that was formerly known as the Republican Party. This is a defining moment. More than any, really, it's very strong. A defining moment in terms of, like, somebody like a Mitt Romney thinks that he should pay the price. George Santos should pay the price. There are definitely Republicans that want George Santos held accountable, that cannot stand him. Remember, Mitt Romney went right up to him at the State of the Union address and said, "What are you doing here? You don't belong here." So there are actual Republicans that actually want George Santos to be held accountable and to be ousted, boosted out of his seat. And then there's an other segment of the Republican Party that they're just gonna get, saddled up to him. They're gonna support him. They're gonna be like, help him play the victim. It's gonna separate. Oh, Betty, $3,000 to run for office. That's not bad. You can get other people to fund you. It's not hard to come up with $3,000, especially if you're campaigning for something. So this is really a separating issue. This is going to separate the Republicans that care that somebody that holds a seat is at least can be counted on to tell the truth sometimes, and the ones that are just completely in the ultra MAGA zone, conspiracy theorists, QAnon. It's going to separate them out. So the Republican Party is going to be really pretty separated out in terms of who goes along with the lies and the deception and the gaslighting and who doesn't. However, I had a few more cards. Let me get a few more cards about what's going to happen to him. He's going to prison. I do get that George Santos is going to prison. And I got the number 5 from Sally the Seagull. I consulted with Sally the Seagull, and Sally said that it's going to be 5 years. Join Grassroots of Democracy. Oh gosh, McCarthy's not having a good week. McCarthy's not having a good week, and I have to do a little deep dive into what happens when George Santos gets ousted from his seat. Actually, McCarthy's trying to sort of, push it out and say that he won't consider George Santos being unseated until they find out what happens with these cases, with his trial. Can't believe Santos pleaded not guilty. Oh, you're still talking about Trump? I know. With Trump, he's with Epstein and young girls. Yeah, there's a lot there. Just switching back to the Trump topic for a minute. He has a history of assaulting women and young girls. I'm getting 5 for George Santos. And in the past, I got that Brazil was going to come for him. And then we were doing a reading when we were doing a PNN, and people were saying, oh, Brazil, let it go. And I did not get that. I did not pick that up. So, is George Santos going to lose his seat? Yes. Oh my goodness, the plot thickens. George Santos is going to indeed lose his seat. How long will it take? Will it be before the summer? Time is a little tricky. Will George Santos lose his seat this summer? Will he be ousted? He'll be ousted this summer. What are you saying? Let's see. You hope. Yeah. So what I'm not clear on, what I have to kind of do a little deeper dive into, just in terms of doing the research, is what happens, and maybe you guys know, what happens when he loses his seat to the Republican Party. I can ask the cards, but I just wondered if anybody knows if that puts McCarthy in jeopardy. McConnell is upset knowing if the feds ask Brazil to hold up. Oh, Andrea, very smart, very smart. If the feds ask Brazil to hold up, because you know that when that happened, when Brazil said they're not going to touch it, I thought that was a temporary declaration, like they weren't going to touch it right then. I didn't feel like that was the final word. Newsom will appoint his replacement until he's convicted. Okay, now I'm really confused. So let's move on. Let's move on to, I want to read on Tommy Tuberville. Because he said today, going back a little bit to the Trump situation, one of them, Tommy Tuberville said today that he would, and he's making a mess out of our country. Tommy Tuberville, if you read up on what he's up to, he is actually holding up the promotions of some really high-ranking positions in our military. Yes, I did say McCarthy will be ousted in June, but I don't want to confuse you, so I'm going to try to stay on the same topic. Tommy Tuberville is pushing for an abortion ban in the military, which is screwing everything up, and because of some of his antics, the military is not able right now. They're being held hostage by Tommy Tuberville. They're not able to promote the military, generals to higher positions. They're not able to do it because of him. It being, just all in on a total abortion ban that extends into the military. It's a mess. And then he was the one that today posted that, Donald Trump being found guilty of sexual abuse is makes Tommy Tuberville want to not only vote for Trump again, but to vote for him twice. These people are heinous. They're absolutely horrible. So I'm kind of curious. McCarthy won't kick out DeSantis? No, I mean, not DeSantis. I'm kidding. No, wait, back up. Because I'm talking about Tommy Tuberville right now. So let's look at that first so we don't get confused, because there's so much happening. So Trump gets found guilty of sexual abuse, sexual assault, and then a man who's in a position of leadership, Tommy Tuberville, turns around and responds to that with, "That makes me want to vote for him not only once but twice." What is that? Thank you, Janet. Oh dear. I don't know much about these representatives, but I'll find out more and get back to you. George says he's not leaving and intends to serve out his term. He's delusional. Come on, let's be real. He's absolutely delusional. Thanks for hitting the thumbs up. I appreciate it. Tommy Tuberville. I see legal action being taken. I see the DOJ or some kind of law coming down on Tommy Tuberville that he's not. This is a total dereliction of duty. He's legally bound to not do this. Tommy Tuberville. He's putting a hold on military appointments, military promotions. This is a threat to our national security. It's horrible. And I see a couple of women stepping in. This is about, there's a little bit of a flavor of women getting our rights back. And that's going to affect Tommy Tuberville and what he's trying to do here with a total abortion ban that includes the military. I really see the law coming down on him and saying you can't do that. You just simply, you cannot do that. Not allowed. Okay. I apologize for bouncing around to different people, but we're going back to George Santos for a sec. And I'm going to tell you, if you didn't already know, that George Santos was the one, I don't know if he started the AR-15 on the lapel thing, but he was pushing for the AR-15 to be our national gun. That's George Santos. That's what he was pushing for. It's crazy. Let's see. He was at the hotel with Roger Stone and Flynn on January 6th. I'm kind of... Thank you, Rhonda, for being on it. Let's see. I'm going to look at... Who should we look at next? Kevin McCarthy. Let's do this. Kevin McCarthy. Kevin McCarthy is actually thinking he's going to lose the seat. I feel like Kevin McCarthy has some kind of a message that he's going to lose his seat. It's either on his mind, he's losing sleep over it, he's kind of freaking out, he's feeling like the threat. Kevin McCarthy is feeling the threat of losing his seat. So it might be that people are coming down on him. You know, the fascists are coming down on him. I do feel that. There's a whole lot of... This card is coming up again. The High Priest is coming up for Kevin McCarthy, and the cup overflowing. This is about what people have, what the justice system has, the Justice Department has on Kevin McCarthy. That's what that's about. And the High Priest came up again, which has to do with the unconstitutionality of what these representatives in our government are doing. It's not constitutional. And Kevin McCarthy has gotten news that something's up for him, and it's not good. And his seat is very wobbly and at risk. Very interesting. Yeah, Marshmallow McCarthy. That's what we call him here. Marshmallow McCarthy. We're going to look at Marjorie Taylor Greene too. Now, the way that things have been going, does Santos know where he is from? I don't think he does. The way that things are going, it's like all of a sudden we hear the news, right? All of a sudden we hear that little sound, that little musical sound on the news, and it's I can't repeat the sound, but and it's like, I know they have that on NBC. There's this, music, and there's breaking news. How many times that happens, and so it's like the DOJ is working. They're in hiding, working, and we don't know what they're doing. And then all of a sudden, kaboom! It just comes out, right? Yes, McCarthy is compromised. Yes. There are a lot of people in our government that have been compromised by little gifts, shall we say, from foreign places, shall we say. Yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene. So I kind of feel like that's going to happen with her. I'm seeing that with her. I'm seeing that all of a sudden we get that breaking news sound, and it's Marjorie Taylor Greene has been subpoenaed by the DOJ. What are you saying about McCarthy's chair? Should have one leg shortened so it will reflect that he's crooked. I'm so sorry I didn't bring my bell. So we're going to actually look at Marjorie. The High Priest card coming up a couple of times really is showing me the United States Constitution. Are Gates and Bober threatening him? Let's ask that. I definitely feel Kevin McCarthy backed into a corner. Yeah, we would be happy if, when Marjorie Taylor Greene is subpoenaed. We would be happy. Are Lauren Boebert and Matt Gaetz threatening? Yes, they are. Yes, I'm going for Marjorie Taylor Greene next. Patience. I know, it's a lot. Diane just finished her gardening. Did you get sun-kissed in the face like me? Huh. Yeah, McCarthy's under pressure. He's under pressure from them. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because, I mean, I got the Three of Swords, and he's like, he's heartbroken that he's going to... I really feel like what I'm picking up on with Kevin McCarthy is he's heartbroken that he's going to lose his seat. He's heartbroken that he'll lose his seat. I really feel like he's got the news, or he's worried about it. Yeah. And I've been saying June, and if you get an opportunity, if you haven't already, I did an astrology show with Kathy Beal, remember? Spirit Talk Podcast. It's here on my channel under the lives. And we see things falling apart for McCarthy. Is it going to be next month? Yeah. He might have gotten a target letter. That's a good question. Under pressure, seriously. Like the Queen song. Has Kevin McCarthy received like a target letter? No, it's not a target letter. Not yet. What does McCarthy's chart look like for June? Watch the show, because Kathy Beal is the astrologer. She's the expert. It's not good in June. Is McCarthy under pressure from... is it just that he's under pressure? No, it's not just that he's under pressure. Oh, I have a question. Because he had that meeting with Joe Biden. They had a tense meeting. I'm seeing McCarthy will be out by next month. Might be the end of the month, might be July, but I don't see things boding well for him. Was McCarthy shaken by the meeting with the president? Yeah. I have the sense that Kevin McCarthy went into the meeting with Trump. I mean, with Trump. Freudian slip there. I think he went into the debt ceiling meeting with Biden, and I think that Biden, excuse the metaphor, it's just a saying, I think Biden read Kevin McCarthy the riot act. When Biden came out of that meeting, he was not happy, which was right after the George Santos news. There was a lot of news yesterday. Yesterday was like the news bonanza. Let's take a look at the debt ceiling. And I just want to tell you about the debt ceiling, and let's talk about Mitch McConnell. There's a few people in our government that I feel like have lost it, and they're not able to, like, their cognitive function is not working. And I think that Mitch McConnell, after he took that fall, is... How can I explain it? Mitch McConnell took that really horrible fall. Remember, he was out for a while. He called Biden a liar. That's right. Just going back to Kevin McCarthy. But anyway, there are a few people that I feel like are being strung along and told what to do and what to say. And I feel like Mitch McConnell, believe it or not, falls into that category right now. I think he really did mess up his brain in that fall. And he's just going through the motions, and I don't think Mitch McConnell is mentally... I don't think his brain's working. I don't think he's well. Let's pull 3 cards about that. Anyway, I'm saying that because with this whole debt ceiling debacle, I actually feel like Mitch McConnell, as horrible of a person as he is, and how little humanitarianism that he has, if he has any. He's been awful. He's really destroyed this country. I actually feel like with the debt ceiling situation... He doesn't like this, and he wants to just go ahead and raise the debt ceiling, but he's sort of kowtowing to these radical Republicans. Let's ask this. Is Mitch McConnell compromised in his stance? Like, is he compromised? Are people threatening that? No, that's not it. That's not it. He should step down. I don't feel like he has his faculties. I feel like he's just being led around by the nose. Is Mitch McConnell going to put pressure on to raise the debt ceiling? Oh, that's interesting. I kind of feel like eventually, maybe just sort of the old habit of raising the debt ceiling that's in Mitch McConnell's brain, maybe that will take precedence. Let's pull 3 cards about him. Let's do that. All right. Justice. Okay. What Mitch McConnell, I feel like, is going to have to succumb to is the constitutionality. It's in the Constitution. It's the responsibility of the representatives to raise the debt ceiling. It's in the Constitution. He's not recovering right. Yeah, Betty, that's really, McConnell gets it. I think he's mentally damaged. Oh, Dianne Feinstein came back today. I didn't know. I wasn't up with the news like I usually am. Okay, well that's interesting. I feel like Mitch McConnell's brain isn't all there. It's going to eventually get to a point where cooler heads prevail, and he will not. I feel like Mitch McConnell's being held hostage. I feel like he's going to do the right thing. Whether the rest of them will follow, let's just ask the simple question: will the debt ceiling be raised? I get a yes. Oh, Gloria, you are so sweet. Thank you for making my day. You know, being at the beach, lying on the sand, it's always good. Getting that grounded energy going. Is the debt ceiling going to be... Okay, so I'm getting the debt ceiling will be raised. The other night when I read on it, I got that there would be a couple of concessions. There shouldn't be. It should be a clean debt ceiling. Pass. How come Marshmallow McCarthy doesn't ask Pinocchio to step down? Because that's what I was getting at earlier. Yeah, brain scans for all politicians. I like it. That's what I was getting at earlier, was like, I haven't really done my homework to find out, is that high risk for Kevin McCarthy when George Santos is unseated? What happens then? That's what I haven't. They need his vote, right? So I apologize for not doing my homework. Maybe you guys can Google it or something while I'm here. Will the debt ceiling be raised, right? Is that what I'm asking? Yes. They're going to try to hold us hostage. Behind the scenes, the Democrats are working really hard. They're planning, they're scheming. The Democrats have a plan. This is the hostage taking of the extremist MAGA. The people that are all in on not helping America, the people that are all in on destroying America, they're holding us hostage. And I'd said months ago that they would let it come completely down to the wire. The GOP needs Santos' debt ceiling vote. Well, I don't think they can unseat him before the vote. Yeah, it will be raised, but I see some concessions having to be made. Democrats really coming together to make sure that it gets raised. And the karma card. The guides just said what goes around comes around. So what the GOP, what the Party of Fascists, the POF, is doing, what goes around comes around. So I see a lot of... They're going to be sorry they did this. They're going to be sorry that they made such a big fuss out of this. They're going to be sorry that they did this. Yeah. Did anybody look that up? About George Santos? What happens with McCarthy when George Santos is ousted? Because he will be. Good justice coming. I mean the speaker seat. I mean that Kevin McCarthy's going to lose his speaker seat. And we're looking at June, and astrologically that kind of lines up. All right. A special election happens. In which case, a Democrat would get in. Yeah, in which case a Democrat would get in. Let's take a look. When George Santos loses his seat and they have a special election, it will be a Democrat. Who takes McCarthy's place? I've always seen Hakeem Jeffries being Speaker of the House. I've always seen that. Santos loss and McCarthy, that's a pendulum question. Can you be more clear about that? Like, what do you want? What question do you want me to ask there? What goes around comes around. What comes around goes around. Yeah, all of it. It's all around and around and around. All right. If you want to book a reading, it's psychicannetteDion.com. Let's see. Jeffries would make a fantastic speaker. When you really think about, we really need to change the laws, and we really need to strengthen our democracy, and we really need to all be involved. Trump Town Hall, is that tonight or tomorrow night? I'm going to read on that. I'm going to read on that. Gosh, it's just... One thing we can say for sure is, like what I was saying earlier, it's very well defined. No, don't watch. I already wrote to CNN, and I discussed my dismay and disgust at them hosting the town hall for Trump. I don't think this is good for them. Let's just pull 3 cards. Oh, is it tonight at 8? I'm not gonna. I'll catch clips on Midas Touch afterwards. Grassrootsofdemocracy.com is where to go to sign up to receive the Zoom invites and all the notes. Will the borders be okay? There's that too. Well, it will. It will be a little chaotic. The situation at the border will be a little bit chaotic or a lot chaotic. The Republicans are frothing at the mouth because they want to use this. Oh, you quit CNN a few months ago. I quit CNN too when they changed to being for Trump. The Republicans will use the border crisis. They're making plans to use it. They're making ads about it. They're probably going to fly down to the border and take video. I can see all that. Just to make Biden look bad when they are the ones that won't go to the negotiating table and figure something out. So this is, I'm pulling cards about the Trump thing. You're watching Town Hall. Oh, is Midas Touch covering that? Oh, good Lord. I said earlier that this video is going to be shorter because I have plans for dinner. Blackballed CNN since they fired Cuomo. Yeah, CNN's bad. They're bad news. Oh, interesting. I actually get that this town hall is going to be good for us. I get that the town hall is going to be good for us. Interesting. It's going to quickly... Oh, gosh, I see Trump being bombastic. I'm a little bit curious. No, the bird's not real. Kind of. I think it was Thomas named the bird Sally the Seagull. So here we are with Sally the Seagull. Thank you, Cheryl. I would have forgotten the Northern Lights. Did you say 10? So I'm in Maine, obviously. And Cheryl's in Maine, and she's telling me the Northern Lights are tonight. So we'll watch that instead of CNN. Can't listen to Trump. I actually get that this town hall is going to make us stronger. So let's have some optimism there. I do get that. We're going to feel good that he looks so bad. Yeah, Cheryl, thanks for letting me know about the Northern Lights. It's really clear out. It's going to be gorgeous. Okay, so the Strength card is coming up. I know, it's funny during the deposition that Trump said Agent Carol wasn't his type and mistook her. Thought that she was his ex-wife. Crazy. How far south can people see the Northern Lights? I really don't know. This is about tonight in the CNN town hall with Trump. It's going to help us. So don't be too upset about it. It's absolutely going to help us. He's going to be bombastic. Take pictures and show you of the Northern Lights. I don't know if that's... I don't have the right kind of camera for that, but I'll see what I can do. Yeah, I actually want to read a little bit more on that. What I want to read on Blessings, Queensland, Australia. Nice to have you here. Yummy steakhouse. No, we're having codfish. My sister lives in Maine, so we're going over there. Tomorrow night, restaurant in Portland, Maine. My best friend is visiting. And that'll be fun. It's fun. Oh, happy Mother's Day from Mexico. Today? Don't forget, Mother's Day is Sunday. Church of Spirituality will be happening at 1 p.m. and we'll be talking about the Divine Feminine. I'm picking 3 cards about how this is for CNN. They'll get the ratings. The guides are saying they'll get the ratings. Oh yeah, this is CNN. This is about CNN in this town hall. It's all about the money. It's 100% about the money. And Connecticut can smell the smoke from the Canadian fires. Are there fires there now? This is about CNN. They're making deals. They're making money deals. CNN is making money deals. But the sword of truth will prevail. The sword of truth will prevail. This is CNN. It's 100%. 150%. It's all about the money. Yes, I'm getting hungry. Actually, that's a good thing. This is all about the money. Alberta has been on fire for over a week. Okay, pray for all the fires in Canada to go out. Getting a lobster, maybe tomorrow night. Lobster men are having a hard time because they're trying to save the right whales, and the right whales get caught in the lobster traps, and it's kind of a big fiasco here in terms of there are people that are saying boycott lobsters, but you don't want to really, put that hardship on the lobstermen. So I'll probably have a lobster or a lobster roll. But I can get those at home too. Okay, what do we really have to ask right now? Let's ask about how Joe Biden is doing. I mean, send him a ton of good energy. Oh, is it still cold and wet there? You're on the East Coast? Huh. You must be south, because in the Northeast it's pretty good. Yes, please click the like button if you can. I want to read on Joe Biden. I mean, send him a lot of good energy. New Hampshire is beautiful, yet sometimes I broadcast from there. All right, everybody promise me you're going to send good vibes to Joe Biden. Nostradamus predicted an earthquake on May 10th. Yeah, I mean, that would be a pretty long-term prediction, wouldn't it? I don't see that. Yeah, everybody promise me you're going to pray for Joe Biden because he needs energy. He needs energy. He just needs energy. That's all. He's got it. He's got it going on. He knows what to do. He's a smart man. He's pulled this country back together. And he's just being hammered all over the place from the media, from the fascists. Send him lots of energy. Yes, good. Thank you for saying that you will. And we do that on 20 on Tuesdays, a guided meditation also. So this is about Joe Biden. Actually, he's doing all right. He's doing all right. Interestingly enough, I do sense that all this hullabaloo around the party of fascists is strengthening Trump's position. Oh, we might have to read on Tucker going on Twitter too. Fox is making money now? Betty, I'm not picking that up. I'm not sure where you're getting that Fox is making money now. The biggest moneymaker they had was Tucker Carlson. I think Fox is on stilts. Not really sure where you got that from, but everyone's entitled to their opinion. This is about Joe Biden. All these indictments, all this evidence against people that were part of the insurrection. No, I said Hang on, try to keep up. I know it's not easy. The news is all over the place today. It's this. The CNN town hall is going to strengthen us because Trump is going to be bombastic. The word that I'm getting is bombastic. Boy, I really did get a sunburn today, didn't I? We're reading on Biden. Biden keeps praying. He's a prayerful man. He's on, this too shall pass. That's what I'm getting on Joe Biden. That he just keeps his eye on the goal. He keeps his eye on the goal. And there's so much evidence. Biden has, kind of his ear to the ground about what's going on with the DOJ. And he knows what's coming. And it helps. It helps his motivation. He knows the Constitution in and out and upside down. And remember, Joe Biden has been in government for 50 years. I mean, I say it all the time. It's a miracle that he's our president. Blue wave for our democracy. Yeah, Trump is going to be a disaster on CNN tonight. I got it all over the place. I'm going to pick a couple more cards about that. The Nine of Cups. Biden is riding with Biden on the economy. It's actually, I'm not worried about him. I'm not. I know he needs prayers. I know Biden needs prayers to just keep strong. But I'm not worried about him. All right. Biden does. He laughs at the idiots. Remember the White House dinner, the correspondence dinner? How funny that was. It was great. I'm picking 3 more cards about Trump for tonight because people seem a little bit unclear about what I was seeing. What I was seeing was that it's going to be so bad that it'll be good for people that love democracy. Right? We all should love democracy. Let's be real. He had ratings, but the advertisement left his slots. I don't understand that. Just reading a little bit more on this thing on CNN tonight. This is what I'm getting on the town hall with CNN tonight. That's what I'm getting. It's not going to be good. I'm talking about food. I'm making you hungry. And wow, interesting. It's actually, this is a really weird read on this town hall tonight. It's going to be better for women. Understand, I'm talking about the contrast. I'm talking about the contrast. The effect of, I mean, face it, Trump is going to get up there at that town hall, which is just started, right? I thought it was tomorrow night, but apparently it's tonight, just started. It's going to strengthen the women's stance against him. It will be strongly communicated, we need to take this guy down. Honestly. It's gonna take him down because it's gonna be so heinous. It's gonna be bad. And mostly the way he shows up after being found guilty of sexual assault. So don't worry about the town hall tonight. It's a terrible decision by CNN. From what I'm seeing, it's 100% profit-based. And it's not a good look. Trump is not going to look good tonight. Yeah, he won't be able to stop himself saying nasty things. In a nutshell, Cheryl, that's exactly what I see. He's going to be on a rampage. The word bombastic is what keeps coming. He is very, very angry. And he's scary when he's angry. Trump is scary when he's angry. You're a lonely blue dot in a sea of red. That's why you're there. That's why you're there, Diane. Because that area needs your energy. Absolutely. Tacopino is not kind to the press after the verdict. Well, I'm sure he was mad. And he has to answer to Trump. That can't be a happy situation. Okay, I'm going to pull 3 cards for the community. Wrapping up just a little bit early. Trump has a gag order. It's not a very well-defined gag order, but he does have one. I did when I was reading on that a few weeks ago, I did see a gag order. Smartmatic filed today and includes Trump. Oh, I didn't know that. I missed my bell. Maybe Sally can laugh. Sally could be a laughing gull. She's a silent gull. Okay, 3 cards for the community. Oh, interesting. These are the community cards. The women are getting the momentum that they need. The women are rising up. The 3 cards for the community before I go. Celebrating women. Women are getting empowered. Women are getting stronger. Absolutely. The Empress. This is about the United States doing better. When you are, this is about women. In the next few days, we're going to see women gaining strength and gaining power. Thank you to the men that are supportive of the women in your lives. Seriously. I think that it's really important that if stories on the news start going down the gloom and doom and we're all gonna just lose everything, when you start to hear that on the news, do yourself a favor and turn it off. Bless Sheldon Whitehouse. We didn't get to the Supreme Court this time, but tune back in on Friday. I'll be back at my office. Gloria's ringing the bell. It's been awesome to be with you. As always, if you want to book a reading, it's psychicannettedion.com. I have plenty of time next week. This is Sally the Seagull saying good night from the seashore. From Maine. And we'll see you soon. Join grassrootsdemocracy.com. Namaste. See you.